Good morning, everybody. Bad Weather Freak here with another video regarding Hurricane Isaias. Today is August 1st, 2020, and it is 9:15 a.m. Here in this image, you're seeing the satellite loop for, not tropical storm, but for Hurricane Isaias. It's looking pretty beat up this morning. You can see here how in this area you have it's almost like if the storm was splitting. A lot of convection here. The center circulation is more like in this area in the Bahamas. Now, as of last night, it has been moving. Having more like a northerly track instead of more like closer to Florida. So I'm going to show you a graph as a result. That's the 5 a.m. update and also the 8 a.m. update. The track has been shifted more east or away from Florida. So if you look here, let's take a look. And by the way, we also have a couple other areas before I move on to continue talking about Hurricane Isaias. There's let's do this 5 graph. So this one is showing some signs also, but it's pretty much looking like it's going to go out to sea. 60% chance in the next 5 days. It says organized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive for development in a day or two, and a tropical depression could form early next week. So this system is forecasted to turn northwestward and then northward over the western Atlantic, passing north of the Leeward Islands through the middle of next week. So basically a fish storm, what they call fish storm, just going to go out to sea. An interesting here story is Tropical Depression 10, where it formed so far east, like so close to Africa, which doesn't happen. I mean, it doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. So that's another little area that we're looking at here. Now, as far as the Eastern Pacific, nothing forming, and that's expected since we are kind of like almost a La Nina. And remember, La Nina, you get more favorable conditions in the Atlantic, so worse for us, but in the Pacific, not so good, or so good conditions for development. Central Pacific near Hawaii, let's see, taking a little longer than expected. Okay, maybe not available, but let's go back into what we were talking here. As of the latest update with Isaias. Now, as of 8 a.m., it's moving northwest at 12 miles an hour, so it has slowed down significantly. This basically, when it was in Puerto Rico, I mean, it was moving just super fast. I mean, 25 miles an hour, that's very fast for a tropical storm or tropical cyclone. Excuse me. So it has slowed down quite a bit. Pressure dropped 1 millimeter from the 5 a.m. update, so its winds are 85 miles an hour. Now, as far as the track, it's pretty much gonna. It seems like it's gonna maintain hurricane strength up to probably Central Florida, and then it's expected to kind of weaken a little bit. Now, this may change. But so far, that's what the Hurricane Center is calling for. So as a result, you have all these red areas, which are warnings, like hurricane warnings. Coast of Florida, the majority of coast of Florida, east coast of Florida is under a hurricane warning. Then you have the yellow, which is a tropical storm watch, and tropical storm warning for like Miami and Lake Okeechobee. If we go back, let's take the arrival of times. This also has slowed down a bit. It's expected to be like in my area, I'm in Central Florida, so now we're looking at Sunday morning. It was supposed to be like today, like right now, but because it has slowed down quite a bit, now it's showing it more like later, and also this has overnight this shifted westward a little bit, but then in the early hours in the morning it kept shifting east. So we'll see what ends up happening throughout the day. As far as the wind speeds, nothing major so far for Florida. I mean, maybe the very east coast may get some hurricane winds. That's what it seems to be the case. Just some hurricane winds. A little bit more inland, might get a little bit of a tropical storm winds, but we'll see. It all depends on the track, because if it keeps moving more like this, then there's going to be less effect here. Now if it goes this way, gets closer, then of course we're going to feel a little more stronger winds and some rain. Let's take out the rain potentials. The majority of the system is going to seems like it's going to stay out to sea, or majority of it in water. Very little rain seems like we're going to get in Florida. Not a whole lot. Let me see what else. Key messages. These are important. First key message: hurricane conditions. This is as of the 5 a.m. Hurricane conditions and dangerous storm surge are expected in portions of the Bahamas through Saturday, and hurricane warnings are in effect. Hurricane conditions are expected along portions of Florida East Coast late Saturday and Saturday night, and a hurricane warning is in effect. Preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. So today will be pretty much like your last chance to really start gathering your plants, if you have any plants outside, anything like lawn chairs or lawn furniture, anything that can again be picked up by the wind and potentially damage your own house or somebody else's property. So now is the time to get those items inside. Dangerous storm surge is possible along the Florida East Coast from Juniper Inlet to Ponte Vedra Beach, where water rest is 2 to 4 feet above ground level are possible along the immediate coastline and adjacent waterways. Residents in this area should follow advice given by local emergency officials. Isaias will produce heavy rains and potentially life-threatening flash and urban flooding, especially in low-lying and poorly drained areas across south to east central Florida and across the Carolinas to the mid-Atlantic. So as this system moves further north, and look like it may brush Florida, it's going to have more or bigger impacts in the Carolinas. There is a risk of impacts from winds, heavy rainfall, and storm surge spreading along much of the U.S. East Coast and through early next week. And interest there should monitor the progress of Isaias and updates for the forecast. As far as the storm surge goes, let's see. Yeah, so what you see highlighted in pink, that's basically what is actually the storm surge that we have. It's a watch because it all depends how close it gets to Florida. Now let's take a look one more time at the satellite. As you can see, it seems like it's losing a little bit of convection, but it seems moving more. Like I said, all night it was kind of like moving more northward. Now it has a little bit more movement towards the west. So that's what it seems like to me. So that will bring it basically closer to us in Florida. Now, as far as the forecast models, let's take a look at these. We got the GFS. GFS basically hasn't really scraping the coast. European model. The European model has it pretty much, again, scraping the coast. That's a weak storm. The Canadian model has it making landfall actually in Miami, roughly, and that's a weak storm. The Navy, let's think about Navy, about a very similar track as the Canadian model. So far, seems like potential landfall. About half of the models are saying it's not really going to be landfall, but it's just to keep an eye on, definitely. As far as the intensity track, the majority of them keep it as a Category 1 hurricane and then kind of like dying off in a few days or getting to tropical storm, potentially a tropical depression. You have a couple models that have been strengthened to a Category 2, which is still possible. It's still possible. Spaghetti models, again, the majority of them keep it off sea, but then, I mean, well, let me rephrase that. The majority of them have it either really scraping the coast or really making a landfall at the very tip of the coast. This can obviously change, and I believe it may change actually as of the 11 a.m. Update, because like I said, when you look at satellite imagery, instead of kind of like pulling north, how it was pretty much all night, it seems like it's shifting a little more westward. So I'm pretty positive that's actually gonna shift closer to us. But so far, that's all I have for you guys. Wanted to do a little bit more in-depth analysis about Hurricane Isaias. Of course, I'll make a video probably later today, most likely closer to the 2 p.m. update. Other than that, guys, subscribe to my channel, like the videos, share them with your family and friends. Stay safe and start getting your final preparations ready. Have a good day.